the architecture. I told you already. The front doors.
You know, I've never really been a fan of JoJo. It's nothing against the setting or anything, I just don't like the way that Araki writes conflict resolutions. But that's why I'm super excited to have an independent creator that's picked up the setting of JoJo and is making their own part. Mick Lauer, who also goes by Rice Pirate, is a really well-known animator on YouTube. He was famously part of Sleepy Cabin and sometimes featured on Oni Plays. For the past 3 years, Mick has been almost single-handedly crafting his very own JoJo motion comic to publish on YouTube, and I have to say, I sure am impressed. Standing just under 15 minutes, Blood Sun Vendetta is obviously a painstaking undertaking for Lauer. The story takes place some length of time after Part 3, where we see an old professor and his mysteriously familiar friend break into a Mexico City museum. The mystery man is revealed to have Hall Horse from Part 3's stand the Emperor as he shoots straight through the lock of the front door. This all feels very much like JoJo, right down to the character designs and screen tones. Lauer has done a fantastic job at crafting what feels like a truly JoJo world. The rest of the story follows them deep below the museum as they search for one of the stone masks that are so famous in JoJo lore. I know a few of you are probably particularly interested in what Mick had to say about his work, so I'm going to include a few tidbits of our conversation here. Firstly, I was a huge fan of Hamon as a power and was excited to hear that it's coming back. Lauer confirmed that indeed we are going to see some Hamon usage, but it won't be what we're used to seeing in the past. Spooky. I also happened to mention my problem with Araki's conflict resolution, and Mick said that he was aware of the problem and is looking to avoid it. Lastly, I wanted to know just how much of this did Mick do with his own two hands. The answer was amazing. Almost all of this was done by Mick himself, but there are some very minor scenes that were done by third parties. Stuff like this, and this. If you have any more questions regarding what I've learned about BSV, please be sure to leave them in the comments and I'll make sure to reply. There is significant credit to give here. The animation is mixed media, but does give a very convincing display. Though when I spoke to Lauer about this, he said that he was going for more of a feel of a JoJo show instead of focusing on it feeling like a full OVA production. This is significantly understandable, especially taking into account that 99% of the work was all Lauer completely by himself. If you're anywhere near familiar with animation, you'll know just how painstaking this was. I have a few nitpicks, but they're nothing more than nitpicks, to be honest. A lot of the animation can be chopped up to noticeable layers sliding over one another in Premiere, but this is kind of standard for a motion comic, and this really shouldn't be judged on the standard of a full animation. There is one 3D model that stands out in particular against the 2D animation, but no matter how hard you look at it, you won't be able to find anything in the movements that isn't just something that comes down to preference or taste. The voice acting is also all by Lauer himself. The audio in particular for Blood Sun Vendetta is standout in a lot of ways. The performance that Mick gives is satisfactory and convincing, but the effects that are put over the Emperor's user's voice are too thick and difficult to understand. The entire work is accompanied by actual JoJo music, which will probably get a ton of fans hyped in all the right ways. Finally, the audio effects and other such intricacies are serviceable and fit smoothly into their usage. The cinematography has a very comic-inspired style that you would expect from a work like this. Much of it feels like it's directly lifted from the pages of a comic book, which I'm sure was Lauer's intention. There's some impressive use of pop art, color schemes, and screen tones that really give the work flavor and texture. Just look at this scene where the lock is shot using the Emperor. It just absolutely begs to be used as a wallpaper. Blood Sun Vendetta's first chapter is sure to grab you by the hair and not let go. If I had to say something negative about it, I would say that I'm not a fan of the crossfade transitions for the animations, and some of the effects work is obviously Lauer's first professional attempt at it. But if you're a fan of JoJo, or like me and love the setting and not the author, this is what you're looking for. It will probably take Mick a long time before we see another chapter be released, but if they can consistently stay at this quality, then it will be well worth the wait. Blood Sun Vendetta Chapter 1 gets a 9 out of 10. Great. This thing blurs the line between motion comics and pure animations at some point. Be sure not to miss out on it, as it will no doubt be one of the most important pieces of amateur JoJo media ever created. If you enjoyed this review, please consider subscribing for more. I do a lot of stuff around here. Join the Discord or slap a comment below telling me what I should review next. You're all beautiful. Thank you so much for watching.